Greetings, good people. I am back, and it is time to discuss the family drama between Jackie Christie and that human that she gave birth to. Okay. I want to get into a couple of articles, two articles to be exact, that kind of summarizes everything very nicely for those of you who probably do not watch the show, don't care to watch the show, or even those who watch the show. And then I'm going to share my thoughts after reading these two articles. All right. So without further ado, let's start with Vibe. Okay. Jackie Christie and daughter Chantel come to physical blows on Basketball Wives LA. Okay. Look at this still shot. You see the picture on the left, the two of them, mother and daughter, posing with one another. And this horrid picture on the right is what is circulating on social media. This is a still shot from the episode that aired yesterday, Monday. Okay. And it's just the nonsense and the foolishness and the portrayal of black women on television and in the media just continues to be disgraceful in certain aspects, in particular this one. All right. So Jackie Christie and her daughter Chantel have always had a complicated relationship, but on the latest episode of Basketball Wives LA, things went from heated to explosive. What started as a build-up of tension between mother and daughter quickly spiraled into a physical altercation that left fans stunned and security stepping in. On the latest episode, which aired Monday, July 21st, Chantel, who officially joined the cast full-time this season, attempted for what felt like the umpteenth time to have a real conversation with her mother about their past issues. But once again, the talk went nowhere fast. Chantel's aggressive, no-nonsense delivery clashed with Jackie's passive, deflective tone, turning what could have been a breakthrough into yet another blow-up. It all started when Chantel declared that she wouldn't be moving forward with Jackie in her life and stormed off from their sit down, only to double back with a string of insults toward her mother. As Jackie calmly tried to guide Chantel to exit her room, she warned, "You can't bully me anymore." Chantel, clearly frustrated, wasn't having it and fired back, "I don't have to do ish," before physically pushing her mother into a closet, turning a heated argument into a shocking physical altercation. Jackie, clearly operating from old school parenting playbook, lunged at her daughter with a closed fist, causing Chantel to stumble back. "Shanty, I will knock you out. I will knock you out," Jackie shouted as security rushed in to separate them. A stunned Chantel fired back, calling her mother a dumb bee and threatening to call her father, Jackie's husband, Doug Christie, to tell him exactly what just went down. Okay? While the physical altercation was shocking for longtime fans of the show, it wasn't entirely out of the blue. Jackie and Chantel have had a rocky dynamic for years, and the emotional baggage between them has also been a part of their storyline. Chantel has previously accused Jackie of being controlling and emotionally unavailable, especially when it comes to how she handles her children. She also publicly expressed frustration over what she sees as favoritism, particularly in how Jackie has treated her versus her older sister Takari. For those of you who watch the show, I've watched the show for many years, and I did see the recent episode, the last two episodes, as a matter of fact. And if you know, you know. So Chantel is basically trying to say that, anyway, Takari, Jackie's daughter from a previous relationship, has gone on record in past seasons about feeling like she was treated differently because of her darker skin tone. The conversation about colorism has loomed in the Christie family, and Chantel has often been stuck in the middle trying to navigate it all. Now that Chantel is on Basketball Wives LA as a full-time cast member, which was a huge mistake in my opinion, the cameras have zoomed in on the emotional wounds between her and her mother playing out for the world to see. Bad idea. Fellow cast members such as Brittany Renner, Ming Lee, Evelyn Lozada, and others have sided with Chantel after hearing more about her stance against her mother. Of course, those are her ops. They don't like Jackie. So of course, the same thing happened when Takari wrote that book about how her mother treated her. You remember, and Evelyn got the transcripts, and she made sure that she set up a nice dining experience with the transcript in hand to share with the ladies. After the fight aired, the internet also had a lot to say. Fans were divided, with some siding with Jackie, arguing that no matter how intense things get, you never lay hands on your mother. One viewer wrote, "I don't care what your mom do. You never put your hands on your mom or disrespect her. The best thing you can do is walk away." But she didn't. She's the problem. Others pointed out the generational trauma at play, acknowledging that while both women have valid feelings, therapy is long overdue. One fan tweeted, "I could never talk to my mama like Chantel does Jackie. I would have been knocked into next week for real." Another viewer added, "After watching, I've seen Jackie try to talk to her multiple times, and every time Chantel gets super aggressive and won't get to the point without throwing a jab or two. Then Jackie dismisses the convo and deflects. They both need therapy. However, pushing your mom and not thinking she gonna two-piece you is crazy." I agree. Their physical blow-up wasn't just about a single argument. It was clearly about years of built-up resentment, tension, and emotional baggage that finally boiled over. As of publication, neither Jackie, Christie, Doug, or Chantel have addressed the fight publicly, but the preview for the upcoming episode seems to dive deep into what happened that day. Okay? So I thought that summarized things very quickly, seemed very fair. All right, now let's get into this article, okay, by Urban Bell. So Jackie Christie's daughter, Takari, took to the internet to seemingly defend her mother. So here's the post. Takari Lee, "She doesn't even know our mom," and she's referring to Chantel. "If she did, she would only try to protect her. She didn't deserve to be done like this on her platform. That's all I have to say about this." Okay. This article also goes into talking about how some of the other females on the cast, kind of got in the middle of Jackie and her daughter's situation. Especially Jennifer Williams, who didn't want anybody talking about her husband and all of the charges that were pressed against him and the allegations of fraud. Evelyn Lozada as well. She didn't want anyone talking about her daughter and who her daughter was dealing with, even though her daughter is an adult. But I can still understand, as a mother, you don't want people talking about your kid. Okay. So that's very interesting that Takari came to her defense, kind of did, I guess, but basically saying that Chantel doesn't even know our mom. Now, I find it very, very interesting that what's her name? That Chantel is so upset with her mother, but fails to articulate the freaking issue. What is the issue? She treated you so horrible. Listen, I'm not trying to negate anything that Chantel has experienced. I obviously didn't grow up with any of these people, so we don't know what goes on in people's household. Before I even get into my thoughts and opinion, can somebody please educate that girl on the meaning of rhetorical question? When I tell you that was getting on my darn nerves, as far as her misuse, and I asked you a rhetorical question. Right, a rhetorical question doesn't require an answer. You demanding this woman to answer a rhetorical question. That really got on my nerves. Okay. And as soon as I seen this episode, right? Well, first of all, when I talked about it last week, the episode hadn't aired yet, but the preview did. And I said to myself, Shawnee Henderson strikes again. Shawnee Henderson strikes again. She's the producer of the show. And baby, her last name may have changed, but her bag of tricks and trash, still the same. I just shook my head. So now the world has seen a mother and daughter get physical with one another on reality television, on a huge platform, as if we needed another reason to look bad. This level of dysfunction should not have aired. And I think this is how I know they don't fool with Jackie. I don't even know why Jackie still continues to do the show. It's like she has something to prove. They don't like you, girl. They don't like you. Shawnee and them don't care for you. And I think she knows that, but she probably don't even care. I don't know. The amount of things that they edited out in previous seasons, right? Numerous times, numerous instances to make certain castmates look good. You mean to tell me this had to air? Y'all couldn't have cut the cameras and just had audio with the shuffling noise in the mic? You guys could have totally edited this out. Totally. And I wonder why they didn't. I wonder why. Anyway, so basically Doug's wife, she had had enough, okay? And after physically being pushed by her daughter, Jackie swings and she basically checks Chantel's chin. And I will never understand this. I don't understand why is it that when people put their hands on you, then they act shocked when they either get slapped, punched, or worse. And it makes me wonder if Chantel is mentally like unstable. And I'm being very, very serious. If you don't want anyone putting their damn hands on you, keep your damn hands and feet to yourself. And that is my whole issue. I know on social media, I was reading a lot of comments, especially on Twitter, and people were talking about, oh, trauma, and Jackie has narcissistic personality disorder, and it's boiled over. Even in the article, this is just pent up aggression and anger. All of that may very well be true. Matter of fact, all of that is true. For the sake of the argument, it's true. My issue has been and will forever be, once you put your hands on someone, this goes to a completely different level. At that point, there is nothing to discuss. There is nothing to talk about. The only thing that you're telling me, if you put your hands on me, is that you want me to fight you. And I'm going to defend myself. That is my entire argument in this whole thing. And I get it. Even when I was talking about the preview of this particular episode on a previous video, comments, you have to see it. I can understand where Chantel is coming from. I don't understand where Chantel is coming from. And I'm going to tell you why. If you are incapable, if you're not capable of having a conversation without putting your hands on somebody, then you know what? There's something wrong with you and you need to get help. Chantel is a 30-something-year-old woman. And yes, she very well may be traumatized, if this story is even real. Because then I thought about that too. I was like, whose storyline is this? Like, is this a storyline made up, like, to keep the show going? You never know with these reality TV shows, right? But let's say that it is an authentic storyline, okay? You're a 30-something-year-old woman. You're a parent also. So you mean to tell me you can't control yourself and have a conversation? Everything is your mother. Do it. Calling her mother out her name. Boy, Chantel, they used you. They used you. And all of this backfired on you. You thought you was going to come on this show, turn up, because you know that them women don't like your mother. And you thought that, yeah, everybody's going to feel sorry for me. Yep, I'm rooting for another season. Them girls used you. They don't like Jackie. And they are already sensitive topic between you and your mother. They kind of egged you on a little bit and you fell for the trap. It makes me wonder why there really isn't going to be a reunion. I wonder if they actually saw the raw footage of what really happened, because after this altercation, Chantel, she done went downstairs to the girls. Look, point at her lip. She hit me. And they're like, oh, she hit you? And everyone's embracing her and hugging her. They don't care. They probably saw the raw footage and felt stupid. Like, see, now she put her hands on her mother. Now she dead wrong. That's my whole argument. Once you put your hands on somebody, you are assaulting another person. That other person now has the right to defend themselves. That woman asked you to leave her room. You wasn't getting the reaction that you wanted out of her. And this is how Jackie knew what was up. Y'all didn't see how all season she was keeping her cool? She wanted to wring that girl's neck long time ago. But see, she didn't. But when you put your hands on her, you knew what you were doing. You ignited the flame. The minute she cold cocked you and checked your chin, oh, I'm going to call dad. Oh, you hit me? Really? That's the part that really drove me insane. On top of you putting your hands on her, you acted shocked that she decked you. Hello, are we okay? Listen, I'm the type of person, if we going back and forth, you say whatever you want. Some people say the most derogatory things to people. Fine. Some people don't like that. Some people will go off on you if you say things about their kids, rightfully so. I always say, leave people kids alone. Some people will go off on you. You say things like your mama. Understood, right? But if we going back and forth verbally and I'm not touching you, but you put your hands on me, whatever happens to you, that's how I feel. Whatever happens to you, happens to you. Don't touch me. Don't put your hands on me. Don't put your feet on me. Keep all of your body fluids to yourself. Because now you have elevated it to an aggressive level that you probably can't turn back from. What if she would have stomped you out? To me, there's no justification for her pushing her mother like that. None. None. If you angry like that, you need to go check yourself into a facility where there's a licensed counselor, a professional therapist, a degreed and licensed psychologist. You 30 odd years old, you are an adult. At the end of the day, nobody's coming to save you from your trauma that you experienced. Each and every one of us as adults, we are responsible for taking care of ourselves. Ain't nobody gonna come undo the trauma that any of us has experienced. There's not enough apologies that Jackie can give you, hugs, acknowledgement, accountability that's gonna undo the trauma that you claim that you experienced. Get help. I'm not giving Jackie a pass at all. Overall, I'm not. Right? I'm isolating this incident. Keep your hands to yourself. Because when you put your hands on somebody, again, you are inviting violence. You lead with violence, you're inciting violence. If Jackie would have called the cops and pressed charges on her, she would have gotten arrested. See? Accountability. You know why? Because she's not a 3-year-old. She's a 30-something-year-old. She's an adult. And not to mention, y'all down at the VH1 embarrassing yourselves. And again, that Sister Henderson, you mean to tell me this couldn't have been edited out? How is this going to edify the black women on this show? How? Every one of y'all that was carrying news back and, well, she doesn't want to talk to you unless it's this. Y'all got yourself involved. Y'all a bunch of witches. And this is evil. When I saw this, all I kept doing was shaking my head and say, look how evil this is. And I understand the stance of respect your mother. Don't put your hands on your mother. I get that. Some people don't want to hear that. And that's fine. But again, that's not my issue that I'm targeting here. I'm targeting what gives you the right, because someone doesn't do or someone doesn't act or behave in a manner that you want them to as an adult, that you get to put your hands on somebody. And you know your mother was going to turn up. She been letting you make it the whole season. You don't have no couth and you don't have no class. And the production team is to blame for this display of ignorance as well. Because again, they could have edited this out. They could have blacked this out and all you heard was just audio, if that. No, there needs to be a reunion now. And they need to put Chantel in a broom closet and set up Zoom for her while the other ladies sit on the main stage just like they did my homegirl OG. Remember that? Because OG was so violent. But since Chantel liked to throw hands and push people and be the aggressor, put her in the broom closet in the back on a Zoom. Because I want to know what the other cast members, I want to know what their opinions are. I'm curious. And I can't wait till everybody starts. So they say anyway. Right? Once they start doing interviews and people start calling on them and asking them what really went down, I want to see who is going to defend Chantel. Them girls might just turn on you like bad jewelry, Chantel. See, a clown only needs one person to laugh at them and they feel justified in their clownery. Like I said before, my whole stance on this is once you put your hands on someone, You are inviting violence, and whatever you get, you get. So I don't feel sorry for Chantel in this instance. Is this the first time you put your hands on your mama? If so, how come you were able to restrain yourself all these years from getting physical with your mother, but the moment you had cameras in your face, you wanted to get physical with her? That's probably why she quickly checked that chin, because she knew you were showing off and doing too much. The both of you embarrassed yourselves. But I'm not sticking up for Jackie at all. This ain't got nothing to do with sticking up. My stance is got nothing to do with sticking up for nobody. I really can't stand that. People begin arguing, and the moment they don't like that somebody says something, with the exception of talking about their kids and talking about their mama, y'all be ready to throw hands. Keep your hands to yourself. See, she didn't expect Jackie to, I don't know if she expected her to swing on her. She swung on me. See, she swung on me. And then you literally, she's a psycho, that kid of Jackie's. She's a psycho. You didn't tell them girls that you pushed your mama into the closet after she asked you nicely to leave her room. You came up there ready for war. And that's what you got. You got what you was looking for, and it serves you right. Let this be a lesson to people. Keep your hands. It don't matter who it is. I don't care who it is. You're an adult. If you can't exhibit any self-control, then you're going to suffer the consequences. What if she would have called the cops and you would have got arrested? I wouldn't have felt sorry for you. And you know what y'all would have did? Oh, how could you get your daughter locked up? This is so ignorant on all levels. So ignorant. And again, there's no justification for her putting her hands on her. None. And Chantel, what is the exact issue that you never articulated? Whenever you're asked, you never articulate what the exact issue is. You just resort to name calling like you a toddler or a preschooler. I don't care how much anger you have pent up. So, you know how many people walk around with years of pent up anger and they keep their hands to themselves? Why are you the exception? There's lots of people who experience trauma. Living in this country is traumatic. Imagine you didn't like something that somebody said, or someone didn't like something that you said, and they bop you upside the head or push you just because they feel like it. You would think that they were crazy. Crazier than catnip, right? I'm not making no excuses for Chantel. There is no I understand, but nah. You've been getting your point across all season, calling this woman everything but mama. Calling her out her name, straight disrespectful. Fine, you want to be immature and that's how you want to communicate? So be it. You feel justified in that. But as far as putting your hands on anybody, I can't justify that. So you got exactly what you deserve. And that's exactly how I feel. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I would like to invite you to get down into the comments section and respectfully share your thoughts. I know some people are going to disagree. Some people may agree. Some people may remain neutral. All I ask is that you keep it respectful. All right. So I'm signing off. Thanks for listening to my little mini rant. I love you for watching. And as always, I will talk to you later.